Hello and welcome to another edition of IIABCal Voices. I am your host, James Lott Jr. I used to work in the insurance industry for about 10 years, and then I left to go to Hollywood. I am here now, but now 11 years later, I am back with IIABCal, working both of my worlds together. I'm interviewing people who are doing things in the insurance industry, like the upcoming InsurPATH Virtual Conference that is happening November 4th through 6th, 2020, online. Go to IIABCal.org for more details. I have one of the presenters who will be presenting virtually to the conference. He is the founder of the Wedge Group, a successful sales training company that has a proven system to launch insurance producers and agency owners on a path to success. He has developed his own CRM platform. You can see it behind him if you're watching this. If you're listening to this, come online, you can see it. Big Nation. I hope I said that. Did I say that correctly? Or I might. What is
yeah,
it?
that's right on. Big Nation. You got it, man.
Okay, I got it. And he has a great voice too. He's written 6 books on this whole subject, and I'm very excited to have him on the show. The thing he's going to be teaching there is the path to $1 Million Producer. And I believe him already, and I haven't even talked to him yet, really. Randy Schwantz. Randy, how are you?
I'm well, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, good, good. Where in the country are you?
I'm in Cary, North Carolina. Same as Raleigh, Durham, right here in the Triangle. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of Cary and all that over there. I have friends who are from there also, actually, out here, here in Hollywood, working are from there. How's the weather back there?
It is. It's cooled off a little bit. You know, high is 69 degrees. So it went from 100 to 69, like boom, like that. But it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's really, really nice.
Beautiful country back there. I've been. It's beautiful country. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Country. All right. So okay. So you've written books. You create this whole program. Did you always know you wanted to do this?
No.
I figured you did. I figured you didn't. So how did you fall into this path right now that you're on at the moment?
Well, I mean, my dad was a sales guy, or I thought he was, as I was growing up. And he would let me, when I was 10, 11, 12, kind of go with him. And he sold automobile glass to dealerships, and we're from West Texas, out in Lubbock.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd get to go with him to these little towns like Littlefield and Levelland and Brownfield and Slayton. And we'd go see these guys. And, he'd sit down and, back then everybody smoked. They'd go have coffee and smoke a cigarette. And I'd just kind of hang out with him. And he'd let me drive every once in a while his car. And
yeah, I love it.
Man, this is awesome. So when I grow up, maybe I want to be a sales guy. And, so anyway, that was when I was a young kid, and anyway, some things happen, and 10 or 15 years later, here I stopped.
You're an agency growth expert. That's the one thing, and it's all about growing, and that's basically any industry in life. It's one of those universal things, isn't it? To go from point A to get to point B, C, D, E. It's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, they say if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're staying still, you're going backwards. It's probably a lot of truth to all that.
I can agree with that too. And okay, first I want to ask you, so writing books, I'm an author myself too, I write books. Is that process getting any easier for you? Or is it crazy. It's
it's never, I mean, writing a bad book is easy. Just like writing a bad play, producing a bad movie, doing bad stuff is easy. Writing a great book is hard. It's a lot of work. And it's interesting, that book up there on the shelf called The Wedge.
Yes.
Came out in 1997 and hit a nerve because it was all about a different view on selling. It recognized a truth or a reality that there's always an incumbent that's got to lose for you to win. And it dealt with that. So the point is, wrote that book. It was hard, but it came out pretty fast, and it's been selling like hotcakes ever since. So I got lucky on that one. But some of the others, man, it was hard. It was really hard, right?
I like that thought, though. That's something that's really to be thought about. That when it comes to selling, you are trying to overcome something, aren't you? There's always something there. I never thought about the incumbent thing. I love that word. It's something already there that you're trying to.
Yeah, you got to unseat the incumbent. You got to get the competition fired for you to be hired. And that's why back here on my desk, I got the blue, the white, and the red little.
And who are they? What are they doing?
Well, the blue is the producer that we're talking to. Whitey over here, he's the buyer, and red, he's the incumbent. And you put them out there, and so almost all sales books play like the competition doesn't really exist. And they go, yeah, just read them all. I've got hundreds of books about selling. And it's like, build a relationship, ask probing questions. If you ask the probing questions, you try to find a problem, you pre-qualify, but they never deal with the fact that the incumbent has got that relationship and comes back in and gets last look. And so we got the 3 little guys I use when I do workshops to really help illustrate that, play with them and stuff like that.
I like that idea of acknowledgement, acknowledging, not playing it off, not kind of putting it up to the side, but like bringing it to the forefront. This is
it's real.
It's there. It's real, right? It's real. It's there. So like, why not acknowledge it, see it's there, and then use it to your advantage, to use it for your advantages, to overcome it or knock it out, like you said, or you fire it so you get hired. I love that.
Yeah, because when you acknowledge it, it makes you think about differentiation in a different way. When you don't acknowledge it, then you go back to the love me, love you, I love us, little Barney songs. And then it goes back to the way that they sold insurance about 800 years ago, where you'd get the policies, find a coverage gap, try to bring back a better price and hope you win. Yeah. And so there's a lot of guys out there still living in the world of HOPA, and they get crushed almost every day, and they never have really figured out why, and they don't make a lot of money, and they suffer, and their bosses tell them it's going to be all right. You just keep trying, you'll figure it out, and they keep suffering. And those are the people I feel sorry for.
Those are folks that burn out. Those are folks that give up. Those are the folks that they go, okay, I can't do it anymore. I'm just tired. And it's like, you probably still can do it. Don't give up just yet. It's just the method. It's your mindset. That's what it is, isn't it?
Well, it's mindset first, but you also got to, mindset is like having a positive mindset, but you got to back it up with something that's real. If not, you still get crushed, even though you got a positive mindset.
Right.
It's like you live in Hollywood, you're an actor. You can have a positive mindset every day, but if you can't act, you won't get parts. Exactly. It's just the way it goes, right? So you got to keep working on that skill. Really, it's a competitive business. Well, so is insurance.
Well, so it's insurance. You're right. And insurance, you have to always be up to date. You have to have certain methods. You should always be working on. We gotta say here, working on your craft. It's the same thing when you should work on your craft. Whether you're an agency person or a customer service or what, you got to work on your craft. So that. Because it's a people-oriented business. It's all about people, right?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Tell me what you're thinking about that.
Well, it is all about people, because that's who's making decisions, right? But that would be like saying selling cars is all about people. It is, but there's differences in cars. There's difference in the quality, difference in mileage, a difference in what you can haul. And so you got to be a student. And so when we talk about being a student of the insurance business, you certainly got to be a student of the policy and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But in reality, it's the services that make all that stuff work is where all differentiation is. That's what you can control. The insurance policy and the price all controlled by the insurance carrier. Right. You can influence it, but you can't control it. These other things you can have absolute 100% control over. And so now it's all about people. It's about proactive services, what we call it. It's also about the insurance policy and the stuff. Now you start to circle out together, and now you're looking at reality the way it truly is. And then now you can go do something.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bignition. What is Bignition? Tell me.
Well, Bignition is it's an agency growth system that really helps agency owners hire new producers, onboard them and train them, as well as train the existing guys. And then it sets up a management structure with a CRM and technology tools that was built to sell commercial insurance. Most of the CRM tools I call it bucket technology. You put names in, you take names out, but it doesn't help you drive any of the processes that make salespeople more successful. None of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So again, I love this. You're filling a need. You saw there's a need out there, and you said, I'm going to fill it up, and Bignition is one of the needs for it. This is grow big or stay home. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, right now we're staying home. Love staying home, but I know what you mean.
Well, yeah. So that was kind of unfortunate branding at the time, but there's a lot of people out there making. It's amazing now how many people have gotten back out. They're making face-to-face calls. And they're doing stuff. I mean, we're getting back to a crazy sense of norm.
Well, I say, and I'm joking with the, of course, the stay home thing because it's kind of ironic. But stay home, it's a mindset also. It's a mindset.
It is.
Home is in your brain, right?
No doubt. No doubt.
Like
You're right
go
on.
big or stay home. So I'm like, I go big, Randy.
Yeah.
That's what I do. You have nothing to lose, right?
Oh,
Nothing.
well, but staying home, you got a lot to lose. And that's the point, right?
Yes. Yes, it is right.
Which, to speak of, so now the whole thing we're doing, the path to $1 Million Producer.
Yes, I was going to ask you. Let's talk about that. Yes.
Well, yeah. So here's the question for everybody that's considering if they're going to invest their time in that.
Okay.
And here's the question I want to ask everybody. Are you saving $50,000 a year? And if you're not, you probably need to come to this thing, because here's just a cold-blooded, hard reality.
Tell it, Randy. Tell it.
For guys like you and me, someday, look, we might work until we die because we love it. But we also, most of us want a choice that when we get to a certain age, you got the freedom to go travel and do a lot of stuff, take care of the spouse, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Financial advisors say you need 25 times your annual living expense in your retirement account.
Right.
That means if you want a $100,000 lifestyle when you retire, you need a $2.5 million pot of money. And I tell you what, most people are nowhere close to doing that.
Not at all. No.
So here's the math. If you save $50,000 a year for 20 years, you'll have about $1.9 million in that account. And so you're making great progress. And here's the beautiful thing, James. The insurance business is unbelievable for the person that sees it for what it is. And what it is unlimited prospects, unlimited product, and therefore, by definition, unlimited opportunity to make money, but you have to work and you have to be smart. And so when you start to combine that on purpose, then you can grow your book, throw off enough money where you pay taxes, pay your overhead, and you save $45,000 to $65,000 a year, and you're building now your financial freedom. And that's a message that is very meaningful to me. And so that's why I'm trying to get it out there for people and then show them how to go do it.
It just, the way you put it just sounds doable. I don't know other word I can think of. I'm trying to think of some fancy word, but it sounds like, oh, okay, I get that. Okay.
It's very doable.
Yeah, it's very doable. Makes sense.
And here's the strange thing. If you're really thinking, it's also very necessary. Now, I use this little phrase, everybody gets by until they die. The poor people do, and the rich people do. So the poor people will get by until they die. It's just a pretty crappy way of getting by. And so when I go back to necessity, I mean, if you want a decent level of freedom when you get to a certain age, it's necessary that you save that kind of money. It's just a fixed deal. And it's just pure math. All you gotta do is do the math and go figure it out. And then once you get real about that, then now you create a plan to go make it happen. And it's not really that hard.
Yeah. And that's why I like that. That's why the way you say it, Randy, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm in. I totally, it makes sense to me. It's one of those things about, I love the whole thing. You're like being proactive. I love that whole thing of not being reactive. So much people do that. They like to react to the situation instead of trying to think ahead of a time. I try to think of the future. We call it in the coaching world, your tomorrow self. Tomorrow self. Like that's all. Look out for your tomorrow self. And what that means is your future. Looking out for your future.
Right. Very nice.
I think it's a great thing, Pat. And so this course that people will come take. So folks should come to this. You're going to give them flat out just reasons and ways to do this. You get some takeaways, correct?
Yeah. Well, basics going to be broken down into 7 steps.
Okay.
And the first step is focus on what do you want? And there's a lot of people never got clarity about what they want, why they're in this business, and what those needs are. And so I'm going to work them through some processes of that. Number 2, going to focus on what does a buyer want? And what the buyer wants is what they don't have, not more what they have. They want what they don't have. And most of that I'm going to call predictability. So I'm going to show you how to go leverage what buyers want. Then I'm going to show you how to help buyers buy from you and go through the psychology behind all that stuff. Then I'm going to talk through how to leverage technology. Technology is your friend. It's amazing to me. And I say this, it sounds like disrespectful way, and I don't mean it to be that way, but it'll come off. It's annoying how people producers blow off technology rather than leverage the crap out of it to go make a lot of money. I mean, technology is a beautiful thing to be able to make you really efficient and gain massive leverage. The right technology, wrong technology is bad. So I'm going to show people what that right technology looks like and how to use it. And then we're going to go through how to be your own personal performance coach. You talk about coaching. How about you become your own personal performance coach rather than rely on somebody else and get your metrics out? I mean, if it was golf and you wanted to get better, you'd have to know how far you are off the tee and whether you're in the green or, you know, in the fairway or in the rough. And then are you on the green in regulation, and then how many putts? And then now when you sit to look at that, you can define where's the problem if I'm not getting my goal. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about preparation. And then we'll ultimately talk about really being your own financial coach to where you're looking 10, 20, 30 years out. And nobody should care. Nobody will care near as much as what theoretically you will. So we'll lay out those 7 steps, that path over the whole year of, you know, the rest of 2020 into 2021 for IIABCal, InsurPATH.org. Bingo. Did I get it?
You got it. You're doing good. I love it. You used to be on radio. You should be doing my job. But great voice. But yeah, so that's gonna be great. I mean, and I love that you're starting with the question, what do you want? That's the question that's everything. That's where everything grows from. It's like, what do you, I say it I mentored the kids here in Hollywood, like, well, what do you want? I want to be an actor. Okay, that's great, but what do you want? Like, what do you want? I want to be a producer. Well, what do you want? I mean, I guess I love that that's where you're starting from. It's like, what do you want? And then
it could. And you know, really the second part of that question is, what do you want and what price are you willing to pay to get it?
There you go.
Yeah.
And we'll end it on that. I like that. And that's a great ending there. That's great. Randy's great. Randy Schwantz, folks, you guys. I mean, you're great. Where can they find your business and your books and everything? Let's promote you. Where can they find that?
Well, you can find everything about us on thewedge.net. THEWEDGE.net. Like a wedge of cheese, thewedge.net.
A wedge salad. Yes, exactly.
Or driving a wedge between your prospect and the incumbent agent. That's really how I want people to think about it. That's the wedge. It's a metaphor for busting the incumbent relationship, right? That's what it is.
You are an amazing brand person. I love it. You're speaking my language.
Ah, nice.
My language. I love it. I love it. Yes, a wedge between your incumbent. The path to $1 Million Producer is the thing he'll be talking about at InsurPATH, which is November 4th through 6th, 2020 online. So make sure you check out. I say check it out. Do it. Sign up for it. Do it. It's going to be good. Thank you, Randy. You're amazing. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, sir. You are too. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you. And you can follow this podcast and all the other speakers at InsurPATH and all people behind the scenes here on IIABCal Voices. We are on every streaming service platform you can think of, from iHeartRadio to Spotify to Google, everywhere. Just go there, press follow, and you can see all the different interviews we are doing. And then, of course, the video version of this, See Our Beautiful Faces, is on my online network, JLJ Media. I have a network of over 30 shows, not just from me, but from other people that are on my network, ranging from Star Wars to soap operas and everything in between. So you may find another show you like on there. Plus, these shows are on there also under a playlist called IIABCal Voices. Where can you find me? Of course, we're all James Lott Jr. are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. Even on TikTok, you find me there too, giving tips on things. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please be careful out there. I know there's a lot of different Mother Nature things happening around the country, so be careful where you are, and we'll see you next time.